video 3. We're going to go through this one quickly, ladies and gentlemen, at the top of the 4th page. At the top of the last page is where we are going to be filling in these notes, ladies and gentlemen. It says inequalities can be graphed. Of course they can be graphed. The graph of the inequality will show all of the solutions to the inequality on that number line when you graph it. Go ahead and fill this in, ladies and gentlemen. An open or a closed circle. An open or a closed circle is used to show where the solutions start. And an arrow pointing either right or left indicates the rest of the solutions. This is very important. An open or closed circle indicates where the solutions start, okay? And we're going to talk about that open or closed circle, because if you have an open circle, when you're graphing the solutions to this inequality, if you have an open circle tells us that we're using either less than or greater than. That means the target number is not a part of the solution set. It is open. That solution is not included in the solution set, even though that's where our solutions begin. And a closed circle, well, that's used for either less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. That tells us that the target number that that circle is on is a part of the solution set. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we're only going to do 4, and we're going to remember these notes right here. Open or closed circle and drawing the line. So we're just graphing. It says x is less than -1. So here we have our number line. You're going to be doing this on your assignment. All we need is 3 numbers. We need the target number. I put that right in the middle, -1. I need a number on the right of this number line, so that would be a number that's greater than -1. I always go with the next number, and that's 0. And I need one that's less than -1 on the left, and of course I use the next number, and I'm just saying -2. So now I'm looking at my inequality. X is less than -1. We have this less than sign, so what type of circle are you going to use? That's right, we're going to use an open circle. So at our target number, I'm going to use an open circle. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you can either draw that circle on the number line, or you can put it above. I like to go above. It's just what I do. It doesn't matter, though. And then we want to indicate all numbers that are less than -1. Well, the best way to do that is to conduct a test. So if I take this -2 and I plug it in here, and I say -2 less than -1, is that true? Yes, that's true. So I want all those numbers. I'm going to draw an arrow in that direction indicating all numbers in that direction on the number line are less than -1. So we wouldn't put a -1 in there, because is -1 less than -1? No. This is true. This is false. So we wouldn't put the wrong answer in there. So we put an open circle because -1 is not part of the solution set. Let's go to our next one. M is greater than or equal to 4. Once again, in the middle, I put my target number 4. A number that's greater than 4 is 5. A number that's less than 4 is 3. I just use the ones that are to the right and to the left on the number line, just because you can use any number you really want to. And then I see the inequality symbol is greater than or equal to. It's got that line under it, which means, what does that mean? That's right. We are going to use a closed circle, telling us that 4 is part of the solution set. Now I'm going to choose this 3 again, and I'm going to put this 3 in here. Is 3 greater than 4? No, that's false. That's false. So we don't want the arrow to go that direction. We want it to go the other direction, indicating that the numbers on the right side of 4 are greater than or equal to 4. Because if I put a 5 in there, is 5 greater than 4? Yes, it is. So I can always conduct a test. You can probably do the test in your head real fast without having to write this down. And that is okay if you can do that. Number 3. Number 3, W is less than or equal to 1.4. So again, I'm going to my number line. My target number is 1.4. A number that's greater than that is 1.5. A number that's less than that is 1.6. I see I have a less than or equal to symbol. That means that this 1.4 is included, so I want it. I want it, I want it, I want it. And then I look. Oops. I'm shocked you guys didn't say something to me. 1.6 is not less than 1.4. I noticed that when I was going to go do a test. And so you might recognize that as well. If I take this first number now, 1.3, and I plug it in there, 1.3 is less than 1.4 on the number line. So yes, we want it. We're going to graph in that direction. Wow, almost made a mistake. That's okay. We can always recognize and correct our mistakes as we move right along. We are human. We are not perfect. Our last example before our night is over. Negative 1/2 is less than r. Oops. Okay. Negative 1/2 is less than r. I see my target number is negative 1/2. All right, I'm throwing a curveball at you. What number is greater than negative 1/2? Oh, that's right. I'm going to say 0. And to number that's less is negative 1. Because they're going by halves, I'm going to continue by halves. So 0 and negative 1. And now negative 1/2 is less than. I notice, I recognize it's less than, so I have to have an open circle at negative 1/2. An open circle. Now I'm going to take this negative 1 and I'm going to put it in here for r. Is negative 1/2 less than r? Oops, I put the capital R. But is that a true statement? And the answer is no. That's false. False. So since we don't want that negative 1, that's a false, we're going to graph the other direction. Now notice, we always graph, our arrow should always go in the direction of the numbers that are true, because those numbers that are true are solutions to the inequality. They are part of the solution set. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, since negative 1/2 is not less than 1, that negative 1 is false, so my inequality graph, the arrow, has to go in the other direction. Ladies and gentlemen, so here we have it. You need to write these down in your quick write, and then you're going to graph them. You're going to draw your own graph. So for each one, all you need to do is draw a number line like so, and then put 3 lines on it. Your target number goes in the middle, one that's greater, one that's less on each one of these, and then you are going to graph them. You are going to graph them according to the proper symbols. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. Remember, check your notes. Do you have any questions regarding inequalities? If so, put a question mark next to it or highlight something in your notes so that you can come to class and ask Mr. Ross for more support. Ladies and gentlemen, ask yourself these questions. Are your notes completed with quality? Do you need to rewatch any of these notes for a greater understanding? I don't know. Only you can answer that. Attitude and effort are everything, ladies and gentlemen. How are you a person of character and a person of intelligence? It's all about what you put in to your understanding during the time you are asked to do your notes. Remember, if you are behind, you can always do some extra work tonight to fill in 45 minutes max. If you are not behind, then I suppose you're done. You can come to class ready to work. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night.